you'll open up the stream and do intros, I guess.
Good evening, race fans. We are live at Lima Land for a special coverage of the Pro Late Model Series with Millertime Motorsports. It's the first time that we've covered the Pro Late Models, and we're here to cover it for you tonight. What a great evening we do have on tap, as I'm your host tonight, Ryan Griffith, and joined beside me, co-host Jason Haynes is with me. Jason, how are you doing tonight on this fine night at Lima Land?
I'm doing good. Looking forward to see some good close short track racing here at Lima Land. It's been a really exciting season so far. Lots of good racing. Looking forward to seeing some more of that tonight.
I know, Jason, you've covered a little bit of, or watched a little bit, I should say, of these late models. I have not got to see a whole lot of what's going on. And it seems like there's been some really good racing, some really tough drivers in this field tonight.
Yeah, I started this series racing with these guys, and noticed there's definitely a lot of speed in this field, a lot of strength all throughout the field, a lot of good quality drivers. Anybody could win it on any given night. Really hard, aggressive driving. So looking forward to seeing more of that tonight. I noticed that we do have one guy missing out of our top 5 in points, Garrett Cooper. He had a rough weekend last weekend. Looking like he's not going to show up tonight, so that'll be another kind of hitting the points for him tonight. Other than that, we got Brian Wax here, just clicking off top 5s like crazy. Really good, excellent driver. Like I said, all throughout the field, anybody could win on any given night.
Yeah, and we know the likes of Brian Wax, Ben Hort, let's see, Byron Gay, we've got Warren Samoy, and I've been told that Warren Samoy and Brian Wax, of course, we've seen them in a sprint car, but I hear that they're pretty darn good in these late models.
Actually, I would go out on a limb and say that, Wax is probably better in a late model than he is in a sprint car. He's really fast. He had no problem walking around me every single week so far in the late models, so definitely looking for some big things out of him, as well as Warren Samoy. Man, he can drive a late model. Looking forward to see what he's got up his sleeve tonight as well.
Out of these 15 drivers, we've got 15 drivers in the pits. What name out there sticks out to you as just one of those guys? It's like a Clayton Tilley in the Outlaws. That's just a really dominant guy when he gets in a late model.
I'm really looking at James Starry right now. He's had a lot of good runs. Average finish of second. He is our points leader for the year. He's got already a 36-point advantage over Samoy and a 37-point advantage over Wax. So he's already kind of strengthening out and kind of leaving the guys in the dust here. Again, Garrett Cooper, he had a win already and an average finish of 6th or 7th, I believe it was, and he's only 30 points behind, but he's not here tonight. So
it looks like qualifying is out there, and most of the drivers have been out there and qualified. Looks like Talon's on top of the leaderboard right now, and James Broswell is in that second position. Hunter McCoy in the third position. Fourth is Camden Johnson, and in that fifth position, as you just spoke, James Starry. So qualifying will be ending out here in just a few minutes. We're going to step away and get a quick commercial break before we get back to heat racing action here in just a few moments.
Hello, race fans. I'm Ozzy Altman, joining you at what has to be, without a doubt, the most highly anticipated dirt racing event in the history of motorsports. Now, Eldora Speedway, located in the northern central side of Ohio, right near the Indiana border, is no stranger to big money events. But this night, something special happens. 100 laps on the hallowed half mile. The winner picks up $1 million. Johnny Moran, you're a millionaire at Eldora Speedway. What would you do to win the Eldora Million?
Welcome back, race fans. We are getting you set for heat race number 1. And this is how it's going to stack up on the grid. I'll call the first row, and James will call the second row. Here's how they line up on the pole. And from the Mid-South Mafia Sim Sports, number 10, Talon Norco. Starting second in the Mid-South Mafia, number 22, Hunter McCoy.
In row 2, starting on the inside, we have your point leader for the Millertime Pro Late Models. It's James Starry. Starting 4th on the outside, we got our number 3 runner in points, Brian Wax.
Starting in that 3rd row, starting from Illinois, number 92, that's going to be Logan Johnson. Starting 6th from Florida, number 57, Scott Schreiber. Takes home with the 7th and 8th position.
Starting on the back row, running up the field, will be the number 8 of Calvin Herring. They have me listed as driving, but I'm obviously announcing.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good heat race here. Heat race number 1 of the Pro Late Models tonight. Your track conditions tonight, it's pretty warm out there in Lima Land. 83 degrees, 68%. The dampness there on the surface. It's a clear night. It's 100 mile an hour or 10 mile an hour winds. Man, it would be bad if it was 100 mile an hour winds, but 10 mile an hour winds tonight. So we've got a good night of racing as the iRacing pace truck is starting to move on that front stretch. Jason, what do you think we're going to see here in this first heat race?
Honestly, right now, seeing the track the way it is, I see a lot of the guys going up to the top. You might see a couple guys bob and dwelling, but it's going to be a top-heavy race for the first couple heat races here, just till it breaks in the track. I'm sure we'll see that bottom break in near the end of the night, though.
Excellent. You got that 10 car and the 23 car on that front row. As they're going to do battle here in heat race number 1. iRacing pace truck lights are out. We are going to be going green flag out of turns 4 here. Side by side, they're stacked up. We're ready to drop the green flag. They're looking. Green flag is in the air for the Pro Late Models. 10 car out front early. The 23 hot on his heels. Running the top side. The 74 underneath. Looking. Trying to clear that 23. Take that second position away. And he does so. Little contact there with a 14 and the 23. That was Wax on the bottom side of the racetrack. And the position matters. Absolutely. Great racing throughout much of this. From the start of the green flag, Talon has pretty much ran away with this one's got a pretty good lead and currently is the fastest guy out on the speedway.
Riding just about a 3/4 of a second lead. He's pulling away from the field. Brian Wax still running 4th. Scott Schroyer 5th, and Calvin Herring running in that 6th spot. Really starting to spread out in the field. Really fast, sticky surface right now. I'm sure it'll get slicker as we go throughout the night, though.
And Jason, you talked about James Starry, and he's up into second. He started 3rd, so he's up 1 spot in this. Not being able to catch the car in front of him, but he's not too far off on time, so he's pretty fast tonight.
Yeah, he always brings a fast piece every week he comes out. I'm sure he'll have no issues moving up through the field in the main event as long as he just takes it home in the transfer spot here.
And coming out of 3 and 4, Talon's going to get the win. James Starry gets the 2nd position, and McCoy gets that 3rd position, and Brian Wax in 4th. 5th was Scott Schreier, and that is your top 5 in heat racing action number 1. Heat race number 2 is on the grid, and here is what the lineup looks like from the pole in the Mid-South Mafia number 12. That's James Raswell Jr. Starting 2nd from the Max Drop Sim Sports number 22, Camden Johnson.
In the 2nd row on the inside, we got the 77 car of Warren Samoy. On the outside of him, starting 4th, we got the 8 car of Benjamin Wirt.
Starting 5th from the Mid-South, number 18, that's Preston Dalton. And starting 6th from the Millertime Motorsports, number 11, that's Byron Gay.
Following up the rear of the field, we have Andrew Regal in the number 27 car.
That's your grid. We got 10 laps to go around Lima Land. iRacing Pace Truck lights are out. We're going to go green flag this time by. Johnson, Braswell, front row. Samoya and Moore, green flag is out.
Can cover the whole top 5 under a blanket. Good start by everyone.
18,
really looking.
18 car of Braswell Jr. in the 18. He's working about mid-track right now, working it well. The 22 way up top at 3 and 4 there. Back down to the bottom in 1 and 2.
Looks like we got the 27 car out of shape there. No harm, no foul. Look at this battle for 3rd, 5th, and 6th.
Absolutely. I was about to talk about that as 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I mean, they're battling out strong. You got one Samoy back there. He's lost 1 position, but the guy on the move right now is Preston Dalton. He's up 2 spots.
Preston Dalton really flexing, showing a lot of speed in this heat race. Definitely dialed in.
Fastest guy on the speedway last time by. What that 22 car of Camden Johnson. You see he's closed the gap on your race leader.
Leaders nose to tail. Really pushing that high line. 22 gets a little bit of a run coming out of the turn. 18 car able to hold him off. Oh, a little bit of lap traffic there getting in the way.
Yes,
no harm.
Was getting in the way there as we've got about, this is the final lap here. They come down the backstretch in the turns 3 and 4. The 22 car not going to be able to get there, but that 18 gets the win. 22 in 2nd, and Preston Dalton that climbed up 2 spots. He does get that 3rd position. 4th was Warren Samoy, and 5th was Benjamin Ward. Ready for your 3rd heat race of the night. I'm apologizing, it is not your 3rd heat race. It's going to go to the B main, I imagine this is. Is that correct, Jason?
Yeah, this will be a B main. Everyone is going to make the show, so this is just basically going to set the back half of the field from 7th back.
All right, starting on the pole from Florida, number 57, that's Scott Strider. 32nd from Pennsylvania, number 8, that's Benjamin Ward.
Starting 3rd, we have the number 8 of Calvin Herring. On the outside of him, we will have the number 11 of Byron Gay.
Starting 5th from Illinois, number 92, that's Logan Johnson. Starting 6th from Pennsylvania, number 27, Andrew Regal. All right, we are getting you set for B-main action.
Definitely a few hitters in this, looking to see the likes of Calvin Herring and Andrew possibly moving up through the field there. They're always fast, so.
Green flag is out on the speedway. The 57 machine is out in front early in this one.
Calvin Herring all the way up into the 3rd spot already. 3 wide coming out of turn 4.
Good race for the lead. Also with Ben Ward working the bottom with perfection right now. He was side by side with your race leader.
Aaron Gray moving around the middle of the racetrack to come into that 3rd spot.
So
Just as he made contact with the wall there.
Yeah, Byron Gay working the top side of the racetrack. Knocked off the wall a little bit, and he's lost momentum. He's back into that 5th position.
Looks like the 92 of Logan Johnson will take advantage of that as well.
Yeah, Logan Johnson working the top side of the race well, very well, as the 92 just is committed to the bottom side.
Front, we have Scott Schroyer still just kind of biding his time, showing the way. Got a little bit of a lead there, about 3/4 or a half a second of a lead there.
Track the last 2 times by was Calvin Hearing, and actually he just got in the wall there, so lost a lot of time there.
Benjamin is slowly creeping up on that race lead there. He's dipping into it.
Absolutely. He's kind of running that midline now. He was down at the bottom side of the racetrack, and he's moved up a little bit and maybe has found a little bit of something.
He's inching closer. He's got to run in turn 3.
That interval gap just keeps shrinking. So you can see it up there, down to 2/10 of a second there as he was exiting turns 2. Lap car might come into play here.
Oh boy.
That really messed up the momentum for Ben Ward. And that looks like that's enough for Scott Schreier to win this one out of turns number 4. He'll be your winner with Ben Ward in second. Third is Calvin Hearing. Byron Gay will come home 4th. 27 car will limp across the line in 5th. That's how they will finish in your B main as we get you set for the A main tonight. Jason, what do you think we're going to see here in this A main? How slick's this track going to get? Is it all going to gravitate to the top? Is it going to be on the bottom? How does these cars work whenever the track really starts to slicken off?
Well, it is a 50-lap A main, so I can really see the top wearing out. And as you see that, you're going to see guys slowly ride down to the bottom until they're almost hitting the tires down the bottom. I think we're going to see lots of 3 and maybe even 4 wide racing as we get into that 50 lap range there.
I was talking to some late model drivers earlier in the week, and they tell me that these cars really become very racy when the track surface is really slick.
Yes, that's true. These cars, they are very tight when you run them on a tacky track, so I'm sure as soon as they start to get a little bit slicker, they'll have a little bit more of movability in the car and a little bit of more comfort, and they'll be able to make some more aggressive moves as the race goes on.
Right now these guys are just kind of working the track in, and we've got a view right here in turns 1, and these guys are getting really close to that wall, just riding it right around there. You can't get any closer than that.
I'm sure we are going to see missing quarter panels and fenders all night tonight.
Well, I can say if I was in one of these cars, I'd be definitely missing more than that.
Like I said, as soon as the outside kind of wears down a little bit and it gets too slick up there, they will start to kind of move down to the bottom and into the middle of the racetrack.
All right, we are kicking it over to your A main action, and we have starting on the pole from the Mid-South Mafia Sim Sports, number 10, Talon Norco. Starting second from the Mid-South Mafia, number 12, that's James Braswell Jr.
Starting in the second row on the inside in the 741 car, your point leader for the Millertime Pro Late Models is James Starry. Starting fourth, the 22 car of Camden Johnson.
Starting that fifth position for the Mid-South Mafia, number 22, Hunter McCoy. Starting 6th from the Mid-South, number 18, Preston Dalton.
Starting in the 4th row, we have our 3rd and 4th in points, number 77, Warren Samoy. And on the outside of him, it'll be Brian Wax.
Starting in that 9th position from Florida, number 57, Scott Schreier. Starting 10th from Pennsylvania, number 8, that's Benjamin Wards.
Starting in 11th, we got the number 8 of Calvin Herring, and on his outside, we have the number 11 of Byron Gay from Millertime Motorsports.
And that final row looks like from Pennsylvania, number 27, Andrew Regal. Starting 14th from Illinois, number 92, that's Logan Johnson. And as we talked, it's a 50-lapper around Lima Land. It's going to be a good race, a long race in these late models. We'll see what these guys got. Can James Starry hold on to the points lead tonight? Who's your pick, James, in this one?
You know, I have to go with Talon. He's showed a lot of speed so far. He's quick time. One is he. I can see him taking it all the way.
Green flag is out onto the raceway, and Talon is jumping out to the early race lead, side by side, all the way back from 2nd on back.
We got some contact coming out of 3 between, looks like 6th, 7th, and 8th place. Everybody sorts it out and gets through nice and clean.
Back up front, it's going to try to get 3 wide here. That 18 car is on the move, and Talon in the wall a little bit.
Contact 322 cars.
Contact on back in here.
Hunter McCoy looks like he got into Camden Johnson there.
Camden Johnson involved, the number 22 machine. Running good. Just got turned around.
That's a tough break. He's running really well in the points, and for him to fall back to the field, that's a tough break.
Don't look like he's got a whole lot of damage on that thing. It looks still pretty clean. Yeah, it does. It looks real clean. I think he'll be all right. He's got a long time in this race. You got 50 laps around here. You got all the time in the world to make that back up. This race up front was very good. Talon, James Braswell Jr., and Preston Dalton, and James Starry. That was a heck of a battle up front.
You know, I kind of expect that. We got all our guys from the top 5 in points all starting in the top 5, so we're going to see some pretty good racing up front. Everybody's battling for that single point they can get to carry through to the end of the season, right?
Green flag back out on Lima Land Speedway. And a little contact with Preston with the 18 machine. James Starry, caution flag waves once again.
Looks like we had some contact in the rear of the field there.
That last lap, I know we didn't go very much, but James Starry is very, very fast in that 74 machine.
Yes, it is definitely looking like it's set up for the track right now. He's definitely moving close to kind of maybe taking the lead there.
Seen Preston Dalton get into the back end of the 18 machine, and 18 may have a little bit of damage there. And that back end, just a little bit bent in, but not bad. As we're getting set to go green flag once again, iRacing Pace Truck lights are out. We're going green flag here. That front row, Braswell and Talon. Green flag is out on the speedway once again.
Lots of cars starting to move down to that middle lane, bottom lane. We're 2 by 2 in the top 2 rows.
Side by side racing for the lead. 18's going to propel on the outside of the 74. He's got the run. He's going to take that position away.
Preston Dalton still pushing down on that bottom line, making up ground. Still 2x2 for the lead.
Preston Dalton and Brian Wax on the move now, but it's all James Starkey working the very, very bottom side of the track as your other two drivers work the top side. Bottom starting to come in for Starry.
18 with a run around Starry for second place. Really, really holding that high line hard. Side by side going into 3.
Yes, and we noticed that the 10 car has now dropped down to the bottom side of the racetrack after he's seen Starry getting runs on him, but that opens up a clear lane for that number 18 machine.
18 on the outside. He's got a run on the 10 car coming onto the straightaway.
This thing could go 3 wide up here up front. 18 gets into the wall a little bit, loses momentum.
We got a run for the lead for James Starry coming into 3. Looks like he's going to clear the 10 car. We have a new leader.
Yes, that bottom line is working very well, and the 10 has nothing to do with that one. It's 74 takes over the race lead and now goes to the top side of the racetrack to clear a lap car in front of him.
Working our way into lap traffic. 1, 2, 3. Still all really packed close, tight together.
Top side of the racetrack to try to get something momentum working.
Kind of gapping out to that third place car, and then you got another little gaggle of cars, 4th, 5th, and 6th, all battling really hard.
Yeah, that includes Preston Dalton, Brian Wax, and Camden Johnson that we talked about. Got involved in that early wreck, and we said he's got plenty of time to make up that time. 16 laps into a 50-lap race, and he's on the move once again.
Come from 13th all the way up into 5th and 6th spot. That's he's running hard. I can see him definitely making it up to the top 3 by the time this race is over.
Top 2 cars are working the top side of the raceway, and Braswell's working the top in 1 and 2, and the bottom in 3 and 4, trying to make up time. Your fastest guy out on the speedway that last lap was James Starry with a 12.87. 12.87 for Starry. He's the fastest guy out on the speedway.
He's got that clean air and nobody pressuring him. He can just run his race now. In the back of the field, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Yeah. Really running hard against each other. We got the 23 car, 14 car, all really packed tight, close together. Really good racing in the back here.
Camden Johnson gets a big run on the bottom side of the racetrack. He tries to get 2 for 1 in one turn. Camden Johnson is up inside the top 5 now.
Don't count out the 22 car either yet, though. He's moving up, working that high line, really working those boards.
Back up front, James Starry has started to increase his lead. There you see the 22 of Camden Johnson has just taken away another position from Preston Dalton. Move himself up into that 4th position.
James Starry is now just checked out on the field. He is gone.
Absolutely on a tear as we look on board with Starry as he exits turn number 2 down the backstretch into turns number 3. You can see just wheeling that thing.
Everybody kind of taking their time, really patient with each other. Lots of give and take right now. I'm sure that will fade away the longer we get into this race, though.
Look back a little bit further to Talon. He gets in the wall there a little bit. That opens up the door for Braswell. Braswell to the bottom side of the raceway. He'll clear him for the moment.
Brian Wax making a move on him. Running the middle line, gets 2 for 1 coming out of turn 2.
Now Brian Wax back on the move. He's up 2 spots from the drop of the green flag in this one.
23 car coming back on the outside, trying to get that spot back.
23 seems to be working that middle line in 3 and 4 really top line in 1 and 2, as there he takes it back to the middle side of the raceway to try to get a run on Ryan Wax, and he won. They go side by side as they enter turns number 3 and 4.
Preston Dalton lurking right behind these two, hoping for maybe a mistake between them to maybe make up a couple spots. Just running a real clean, solid race.
Hunter McCoy has taken that position away from Brian Wax. Brian Wax drops 1 position off of the 23 car, but back up front, you can still see Starry is right away with it, just now lapping Byron Gay in that 11 machine, and Starry into the wall a little bit there.
Using up all the room he can, trying to get around these lap cars for sure. Everyone else kind of sorted themselves out. Everyone taking lots of time and working their way through this 50-lap feature.
We thought 50 laps, man, that could take a while to get around here, but man, we're down to 17 laps to go in this one. Now 16 to go for Starry as Braswell starts to close the gap.
Still running lap times in the lower 13 seconds. Still lots of speed out of this track.
Absolutely. Last lap, Braswell had a 12.99. That was faster than your race leader.
Lots of cars still running that high line, just trying to make as much time up as possible.
Camden Johnson has closed to the back bumper of Talon. That 22 car is looking for another position and trying to get inside the top 3 as he runs just behind Talon here with 13 laps to go.
Looks like they'll have the lap car of Byron Gay to deal with here, coming up in about a lap here.
Camden Johnson
There's
drops to the bottom side. Byron Gay right in front of Camden. Is that going to cause some issues as Camden almost put a slider on the 10 car? Now Byron Gay's in the way of the 22 machine.
Lap car is causing some problems for these leaders. They're 3 wide on the straightaway.
Wow, 3 wide with that lap car.
Still side by side going into turn 3. Slide job. Did he clear him? He did clear him. Move him up a spot.
The 22 machine is on the move now. Camden Johnson up into the 3rd position. And the last time by, your fastest guy out on the speedway was Braswell Jr. as he starts to close that gap on your race leader. It's now down to 1.1 seconds.
Braswell still coming. You can tell he's definitely nipping away at that lead.
Does he have enough time? 7 laps to go, and it's just under a second now.
Making up time coming out of turn 2, and makes up even more time in turn 3. Chewing away at that lead down to 0.7 of a second of a lead. He's definitely chewing into it.
Absolutely. 5 laps to go around Lima Land, and Braswell Jr. is on the move trying to get your race leader, and he is there.
Into the wall a little bit there.
Braswell is there. Can Braswell have enough time to get around that 74 machine? It's a car length distance between the two.
Battling hard. He's at his bumper coming into turn 1 here. He's got to run. Both guys really riding the outside ledge.
I feel like Starry has been looking in his mirror and seen a car coming as he's pressuring hard, made some mistakes. He's back on the wheel now, and he's starting to get maybe a 2-car lead gap as it's needed as you've got 2 laps to go as they come out of turn 4. The white flag will be flying in the air.
Last turn, a little bit of a run, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Looks like Starry is going to get the win.
Yep, Starry's going to hold on to it. Braswell will come home second. And Camden Johnson, after an early caution on laps 3 or 4, he comes home third. We'll have your final results coming up here in just a few moments.
Starry will become your second-time driver ever to win 2 races in a row in the Pro Late Model Series, and he will extend his point lead going into week 6.
Here's how they finish off. James Story is your winner tonight. James Braswell Jr. in second. Camden Johnson comes home in that 3rd position. Hunter McCoy is in that 4th position. Dallin Norco, he finishes in 5th after starting on that front row. Starting in that 6th position, Brian Wax brings her home in that 6th position. 7th was Preston Dalton. 8th was Scott Schroyer. In the 9th position was Warren Samoy. 10th was Ben Wart. 11th was Byron Gay. 12th was Andrew Regal. 13th, Calvin Hearing. 14th, Logan Johnson. And 15th was Jason Haynes. Man, Jason, I thought you would have been better in that.
I thought so too. It's hard to, I just couldn't get it in rolling.
He couldn't even get it out of the trailer. He's up in the booth talking with me. It was a good one for sure. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad that we covered the Pro Late Models. Your debut as a co-host with us. A lot of fun. Of course, we've never had 2 commentaries in the box at once, and we made it happen tonight, and we're going to continue that all season long with the All-Star Series. Let's talk a little bit about the All-Star Series, Jason, as you run in the Outlaw Series, so you know what it's like to be in a sprint car. These Outlaw Series, they're trying to prove themselves to try to eventually get themselves into the Outlaw Series, and you're going to be able to call it with me every Saturday night at 10 o'clock p.m. Are you excited about that?
You know, I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot of guys that were actually in the Outlaw Series that didn't quite make the cut. I would say that the All-Star Series could be and will be almost as competitive as the Outlaw Series. I'm really looking forward to some big things out of the likes of Preston Dalton and Zach Dykstra and all those guys that are, running in the All-Star Series. So it's going to be really, really exciting.
Well, I'm excited to have you in the booth. It makes it a lot easier to call some races because it's not always easy to constantly be calling the race, and you seem to run out of breath at times, and you got somebody that can fill in the background. I'm really excited for it, and I think it'll just better the program and better Dirt ITV, and we just I want to thank you for tuning in with us tonight and broadcasting with me here on the Pro Late Models, and we'll be back on Saturday night for the All-Star Series, and then we'll be at the Outlaw Series on Sunday night, and you don't want to miss the pre-race show starting at 6 and racing starting at 7. Guys, if you have been watching us over on the YouTube channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button for us. If you've been over on Facebook, make sure you hit the like, hit the follow button. We greatly appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you next time. This was the Pro Late Models, brought to you by Dirt ITV. Thanks for watching.